Why do people hate religion? Look guys, you're gonna have to listen to the full video, please, before you comment. You're gonna learn a lot. And I'm gonna show that, so there's this kind of the religious side, very much belief based, and then there's this I'm spiritual but not religious, that everything about religion is wrong. I want to show clearly, without a shadow of a doubt, that both of these sides are sides of the same coin, two sides of the same coin. They are both extremes, and they are both not true. The truth is deeper than this, and at the end of this video, you will know how you can do spiritual practices such as salat, reading Quran, reading Hadith, when focusing on your own lifestyle and not the beliefs of other people. So look, to people who hate religion, to people who are bitter at religion, to people who are frustrated with religion, I hear you, okay? I hear you. Your experience is not unique to you, you understand? I've gone through that. My father has gone through that. So many people have gone through this. So this is not a new experience. I know what you feel. I know what you've encountered. For example, myself, what makes me most frustrated with religion, the way people think about religion, like groups that believe a certain thing, that's what we kind of mean with religion, right? Is this belief leads to a kind of excuse, a kind of complacency, laziness, essentially. So people who are very, very firm in their beliefs, but they don't verify the truth, those people tend to become very lazy, and they tend to become, very complacent that the world is going to give them something, that like a mystery God separate from them that doesn't exist is going to somehow rain down miracles to them. And when it doesn't happen, they become like, they can become very bitter and very hateful towards other people, like almost that they wish that other people will be punished. Kind of like this, but in reality this is based on them being lazy and not doing for self as they are supposed to do. So that's the big frustration and the other frustration I have with religious people, people who have strong groups that believe a certain thing, is that they are very big on moralizing. They are very big on moralizing other people, and that is something that I'm completely like, I can't stand people who moralize other people. They tend to, those are the evil ones. Those are the bad group, the evil group, the group that doesn't believe the right beliefs. They are doomed to hellfire, and they tend to sort of put themselves above other people morally. That's the kind of hypocrisy, essentially, with religion. The way we think about religion. Now, the problem with this is that there is actually no such thing as religion. Religion is not a reality. There is no such thing as religion. This is not something that I'm just saying. You can verify this yourself. The scholars have agreed that religion is completely a Western term. So when we talk about Islam, Islam is not a religion. Deen Allahu, deen is the Arabic word, the Semitic word. Deen does not mean religion. So Islam is not a religion. Islam is not based on belief systems. It is not. That is something that is added afterwards. Islam is deen. The Sanskrit word for deen is dharma. So Islam is dharma. Dharma or deen is very important, but religion is not. Dharma and deen is not the same as religion. There's no such thing as religion. But there is a reality known as deen, and there is Islam, which is essentially the eternal deen or the true deen, which is Sanatana Dharma, the true Dharma. Now, what is a deen? A deen is your way of life. So that's how you live. You understand, if you have a film camera that films you from morning to evening and just sort of notes down how you live, your lifestyle, that's your deen, okay? So then when you understand what deen means, or dharma, you know that everyone has a dharma. Everyone has a dharma. I have a dharma, you have a dharma. I have a deen, you have a deen, okay? So it's not so interesting, what is my deen? Okay, that's interesting if you meditate, but the question is, what is the right deen? What's the right dharma? How should I live? What's the right way to live? How does Allah want me to live? How does the divine want me to live? What's the true way to live? Now that is when Islam comes in. Islam is the destination deen, or the destination dharma. That's the potential deen or potential dharma. That's where you're traveling towards. You're traveling towards the true way of life, the true dharma, the way of life of Allah, dini Allahu. This is Islam. And it's defined in the most simple way, in the 5 pillars. So this true way of life should have prayers in it. It should have charity, salat and zakat, and the other pillars. You understand? So this is what deen is. So when you understand this, this is so significant. When you know what a deen is. This is how Islam was taught in the classical world before people started religionizing Islam, with introducing that you have to believe so and so and so, otherwise you're not a Muslim. That's Western stuff. That's not deen. Okay? Is because whenever someone comes to you and says, Islam says this, when people say that to me, I say, no, you say that. Islam doesn't say that. Islam is not a human being with a mouth that talks. You are a human being that talks, and that's your opinion. No, it's not my opinion. Islam says this because Allah says in Holy Quran. No. You are interpreting. That's Islam according to your opinion. You have the right to have your opinion. You have the right to have your interpretation of what is Islam. You know what? So do I. Then it's words against words. It's his deen, my deen. He thinks that what he believes is Islam, how he lives is Islam. Okay, I think the way I live is Islam. But essentially what Islam is, that's how Prophet Muhammad lived. But he's not Prophet. So I cannot equate this guy's lifestyle to the lifestyle of the Prophet. So therefore it's just one man and one opinion. And whether I hold his way of life to be that of the Prophet, that's up to me, what I believe. Well, I can believe that, someone can believe something else. You see, it's not belief-based, okay? You believe in what you don't know. You cannot know everything, therefore we believe. So beliefs are not wrong. There's no such thing, essentially, on a deeper level as right and wrong. Everything is there for a reason. Everything is by the decree of Allah. Okay, so there's a reason why we believe. We believe because we don't know things. Okay? And we cannot know everything. There's always this potential for knowing higher. That's why you need belief. But you have to be humble with your beliefs. You have to know that they are beliefs. And when you know the truth, then you know the truth. And the truth is that there's no such thing as religion. You cannot define deen like, you have to believe this and this and that. Because Muslims don't believe the same thing. No group of Muslims believe exactly the same thing. 2 Muslims, they will not believe the same thing. They will have different beliefs. But their lifestyle is with the 5 pillars. Then that's Islam. You understand? You can say that's Islam. Whether it's a high Islam or a low Islam, well, then you have to compare him to Prophet. How close is he to Prophet? Because Prophet is the standard, the Furqan, the criterion of what is Islam. Just like in other traditions, the Dharma is defined by the holy person. So in Buddhism, that would be Buddha Dharma. The true Dharma is the way the Buddha lived. In the same way, the true Dharma for the Muslim is the way Prophet Muhammad lived. He's the standard, he's the criterion, the Furqan. Okay? In Christianity, Jesus is the Furqan. He's the way he lived is the true way. Okay? Now this is the difference between deen and religion. Okay? So when people say, I'm spiritual but not religious, I know there's frustration with people who are religious, who have turned deen or dharma into religion. That is very frustrating because they feel that they have a right to tell you how to live. So you don't feel free to experience life in your own way. You feel judged and moralized, and you feel that other people have invited themselves to tell you how to live. But you have to understand that they are not prophets. They are not enlightened beings. They are just people that have one opinion on what is deen. That's it. You don't have to follow what they say if you don't want to. You focus on your own deen instead, your own dharma, and purify yourself. This is a better way than to go into this. Because what happens then when you say, okay, I'm spiritual but not religious. If you take a very extreme stance then, you can go to the extreme that you say religion is bad, all of it is bad. And what tends to happen then is that you build a bitterness towards Prophet Muhammad. You build a bitterness towards the prophets. That's bad. Because then you're essentially saying that you can find enlightenment by yourself. You're saying that you don't need a teacher. You're saying that you don't need, nothing is holy to you. You're saying that you know better than everyone. Okay, good luck then. You want to reject Prophet Muhammad? Good luck then. How are you going to walk? I don't know. How are you going to live? I don't know. What is your criteria for judgment? I don't know. You reject Prophet? I don't know. Then you are like in the wilderness, in the ice cold winter, all by yourself, without no shelter. If you reject Prophet Muhammad, you have no shelter. Then you're in the wilderness on your own. It's like walking out the house without shoes. You're gonna get hurt. You're not gonna have anything to protect you. So don't blame Prophet Muhammad for what other people do in the name of Prophet Muhammad. Don't blame Prophet Muhammad for what other people do in the name of Prophet Muhammad. Don't blame Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam for what other people do in his name. They speak about Islam according to their understanding, but they are not prophet. They are people with opinions. And today, many people have many opinions. What you believe is the true teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's your right. You are free to believe whoever you want, okay? That to represent the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. For me, I want to see that peace, that love, that forgiveness, that patience. Because Allah is salam, Allah is peace, Allah is patient, as-sabr. Allah is forgiving, al-Ghafur. Allah is the beloved, al-Wadud. Allah is the merciful, al-Rahman. Allah is the beneficent, al-Rahim. I want to see the qualities of Allah. I want to see the mercy of Allah. I want to see the forgiveness of Allah. For me, someone who represents the teaching of Prophet is someone who is purified in the inner being. Because Quran says, he indeed succeeds who purifies it, the self. Someone who is purified here will be purified out there. Someone who is in peace in the inner will be peace in the outer. Because Prophet Muhammad says something about phenomenal character. Phenomenal character. Humble, listening, shy, and so on. When you look at the awliya like Sheikh Ahmed Tijani, a phenomenal character. Humble, shy. They showed prophetic character. Polite, patient. This is the kind of energy I want to see on someone who I think represents the way of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People who think my way or the highway, I don't think that that is the spirit of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I don't think that that's the spirit of any of the prophets. That's men who have their own interest and they are using religion or they are using deen teachings to justify their own bad manners. And you have that a lot in Islam particularly. You have men who have bad characters and they want to use Sharia, which is divine law originally. That's the law of the spirit, how the spirit wants to live deep within. People take those teachings and they justify anything. They justify having so many wives against the will of the wives and oppression of the young and this elderly ego that you are an elderly person, you should surrender to the elder. There's nowhere that says that I have to surrender to elders, that the elder is always right, and all these kinds of oppressive teaching. There's men and their own interests. So essentially, why people hate religion is because people with bad character traits, anger and hatred inside of them, take the teaching of prophets and they abuse them to justify their own behavior. That is why people hate religion. However, don't blame Prophet Muhammad for that. Because if you cut off Prophet and say, Islam's... I heard a debate between Zakir Naik, a Salafi, who says that Sufi practices are shirk, by the way. So he's putting a very high moral stance on himself by criticizing Sufis anyway. Zakir Naik and the Hindu guy is, Islam says this, but Islam says that. No. Islam is not a human being with a mouth. There are human beings that have an opinion about Islam who say that. There are human beings who have an opinion of Islam who say that. Okay? It's not Islam says this, it's human beings with an opinion. Wahhabi, Asim al-Hakim, declared the Tijani Sufis non-Muslim. Either extreme deviant or kafir. That's what he said. Two different statements. Is it Islam who has declared Tijani is non-Muslim? Asim al-Hakim doesn't own Islam. He's one man with one opinion. That's his opinion. I have another opinion. Whose one is right? Lakum dinukum waliya dini. Your deen to you, my deen to me. You see? You can believe whatever you want. It's your right. But if you follow that in whatever way you can, be it little or much, if you follow even little or much, the teaching of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, if you regard his teachings as holy, as true, then that is the definition of a Muslim. If you regard Prophet Muhammad's teachings as holy, then you're a Muslim. That's what Muhammadun Rasulullah means. And if you say Muhammadun Rasulullah, then La ilaha illallah is also true for you. Because that is the essence of what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ taught, is La ilaha illallah. So if you accept Muhammad as his teachings as true, little or worse, that's a Muslim. That's the Shahada. Okay? And the people who don't accept Prophet Muhammad ﷺ's teaching as true, there are one of two reasons I've seen. Either because they have seen the wrong representation of those teachings. Then it is not Prophet they have rejected. They have rejected how other people have represented Islam. But if they have seen the true spirit and true light of the teachings of Prophet, and they reject that, that's kufr. Because then we will reject how Allah manifests His will. Oh, this is it. Hopefully this video is helpful. Assalamu alaikum.